In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser, and I'm here today with my lovely husband, Joe.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
And it's our 7th wedding anniversary today.
Hooray.
Hooray! Congratulations to us. Happy anniversary, love.
Thank you. Happy anniversary to you too.
That was a brief pause to slurp Prosecco.
Very nice. It is too.
Yeah, because we don't normally drink in the week, but it's our wedding anniversary. So it seemed like it should be a thing. And also, we've already had a random Monday cheese fest.
We did eat a lot of cheese.
Which is fairly awesome. Because we've spent the weekend... God, we've had a really busy weekend, haven't we?
Oh.
We've had Sarah and Emily staying.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Emily.
Hi. And we've been doing a little bit of stuff on the house and in the garden. And then yesterday, lunchtime, we went to my mum and dad's place because it was their Ruby wedding anniversary last weekend and they had a party this weekend.
40 years.
40 years.
Jeepers.
And the whole family was there, including my brother and his wife and their new baby boy.
13 days old?
11 days old.
11 days old.
11 days old. And he's super cute and he's got a wizard's hat.
He was all right, wasn't he?
Yeah, he just got passed around everybody, and I don't think he ever woke up.
Just slept on people. It's great.
Yeah, he was awesome. So that's what we've been doing, and we've had the day off today pretty much, and now we're drinking Prosecco, and dinner's in the oven, and we are recording this podcast, which is cool.
Busy day.
Hurrah!
Yeah.
Cool. So, anyway, this week, we are in the 5th and final stage of hostage negotiation.
Oh, thank God for that. I'm so glad.
What is the 5th and final stage, Joe?
The 5th and final stage is behavioural change.
Yes, it is. What's the 4th stage?
Rapport.
No.
Oh.
Influence. What's the 3rd stage? What's the 2nd stage?
Empathy.
I was crazily mugging at him then. And the 1st stage?
The 1st stage was listening.
Yes, it was. It's active listening. So yeah, you guys, this is the final episode of this exciting mini-series.
And this is the bit where you get the goods.
This is the bit where you get the goods, yeah. This is where you get people to act and you get them to turn off their exploding underwear.
Yes, come out with their hands up, hand over their wallet. Exactly.
But the thing is, we've covered an absolute ton of stuff in this exciting little mini-series, and some may say we've covered too much stuff. I don't think so. I think it's been awesome. But there is lots of info in there, so I thought it might be useful to put together a cheat sheet for you guys.
Okay.
With the key points that you can take away, and obviously kind of, because yes, we've been talking about hostage negotiation, but really this is all about persuading people to buy your shit, man.
Uh-huh.
That's what this is all about. So I have put together a little PDF, and you can find it at www.businessforsuperheroes.com/hostage.
Nice.
Yeah. You can enter your name and email address, and I will send you the PDF for free of charge.
Awesome.
Because
that's nice. When did you set that up?
Sorry?
When did you set that up?
Today.
Well done.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, if let's imagine that we're speaking on Friday evening, because that's when the podcast is out. It's Friday evening. When did I set that up? I set this up earlier in the week, which means I haven't done it yet.
Right. You haven't done it yet.
No,
but you have to now.
But I have done it because when the listeners are listening to this, it's Friday evening. And if they go to, in fact, guys, if you're listening, test me out, man. Go to businessforsuperheroes.com/hostage and get your grubby little mitts on the most excellent freebie that I've put together for you.
Is there, as a expert in the English and speaking thereof, is there a suitable tense for things you have done in the past will be future?
The present imperfect future.
Present imperfect future.
I made that up.
Okay.
I can't remember enough of my Latin. But that's not what we're talking about today. The point is, we'll give you that link again at the end of the podcast.
And it'll be working by the time you get there.
We'll be working by the time you get there, yeah. So in the meantime, though, here is stage 5. We're going to be changing people's behaviour today, which means for you, getting them to click through and buy from you or sign up or ring you or fill in an order form or whatever the hell it is that you want people to do when they've finished reading.
Book an appointment, come and get their car fixed.
Exactly.
Whatever the hell it might be.
Whatever it might be. The point is, this is where you get them to do something. So for me, it's getting you to go to businessforsuperheroes.com/hostage and ask me for this awesome free gift.
Okay.
Anyway, basically, how well this final step works for you will depend very much on how thoroughly and effectively you have worked your way through the previous... I've only had 1 sip of Prosecco so far. The previous 4 steps of the hostage negotiation.
Okay.
So...
Now, we haven't actually been doing the previous 4 steps of this thing, so...
Of course we have.
Have we?
Yeah. The podcast is the previous 4 steps. I listen to people. I listen all the time. I reply to pretty much every email that I get from people. And if I don't reply to them, it means that I haven't received it or that it's just got completely buried. And eventually, when I go through my emails, I will find it and then I will reply. And, the people will tell you that. I do reply to pretty much every email I receive. Unless it's abusive, in which case it just gets deleted and laughed at. But yeah, so that's the listening part. The empathy part is... Don't you give me that smug face. The empathy part is where I talk about the stuff that... Well, we have been talking about the stuff that business owners struggle with. We've been, showing that we understand because we've been there and done that. The rapport is where, we show that we feel it as well, because I probably share far too much of my feelings with other people. The influence is, I'm constantly showing people how they can improve their business and, get better.
I'll take it back. I'll take it back. It all feels like a cunningly crafted plan.
It is a cunningly crafted plan. It totally is. Totes amaze balls, man.
Cool.
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah. Anyway, how well this behavioural change step works will very much depend on the groundwork that they've put in, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
let's hope some people download that PDF, huh?
I will know exactly how many people have downloaded the PDF. Because I track everything and everybody. I'm watching. That sounds really creepy. I'm not. I don't know what you're doing right now. But yeah, if you've built a solid, trusting relationship with your prospects and customers and clients, this last piece of the jigsaw will be like a walk in the park for you. But, dun dun dun, that doesn't mean that you can just breeze through it really quickly and fling out a, half-assed call to action and expect people to do as they're told.
Right.
There's some stuff that you have to do. Tell
me. Some stuff. Stuff? What stuff?
The stuff. Don't just give the order to act. You have to propose solutions for people, and I hate the word solutions.
I know.
You have to propose answers to their problem, or whatever the hell it is that, solution is a useful but overused word. If you've done your groundwork with the active listening, the empathy, the rapport, and the influence, your prospect will already be wanting to buy from you. It's just that they're going to need a little extra push from you, and it's up to you here to show them how to do it. And part of that is going to be kind of going through all of the stuff that you've gone through, because they're going to need a lot of reassurance at this stage. Because this is actually the stage where they're going to get the most jitters.
I guess this is the first point at which they do stuff.
Yeah,
this is when they have to actually commit to something. Up to now, they could be fairly passive. They could just be whinging about their problems and coming to the conclusion you're quite nice.
Exactly.
But then you're suddenly making them, presenting them with this
decision.
Do stuff.
Yeah. It's a decision. Oh my God.
That was another sip of Prosecco, wasn't it?
That was the second sip of Prosecco.
I, on the other hand, have finished my first glass.
He's going to drink it all now because I do most of the talking, and I'm going to get none of my anniversary Prosecco.
Sweet, sweet Prosecco.
My attempt at behavioural change here is to take the bottle of Prosecco and move it out of Joe's reach, which I've just done.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, this in all seriousness, this is the point at which people get the most jitters, because you've built up this relationship with them, you've built up some trust, and at the moment, if they're still reading or they're still with you, they're liking what you're saying, and they're, they're thinking they want to know more, and all the rest of it. But at the point where you ask them to actually do something, to take an action, whether that's handing over money or handing over their email address or, just clicking the button, is actually quite a big decision to make psychologically. To you, it might be a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. But to the person that you're asking to do something, this is a massive leap into the unknown, because they don't know if say you only listen to my podcasts, but you haven't been on my email list, to get this free PDF thing that I'm offering to kind of summarize this series. If you give me your email address, then that, they don't know what kind of shite they're going to get.
They've seen nothing yet.
They ain't seen nothing yet. No, but they don't know. They don't know what they're going to get from me. They don't know if they're going to get spammed into oblivion. Well, it's not spam because you'll have opted in, but they don't know if they're going to get blasted into oblivion with just loads of awful hard sell messages. I mean, they kind of do know that that's not what they're going to get, because they've been listening to the podcast, and they know what I'm like. But there's still that element of uncertainty. And if you've not been listening to podcasts for ages, and this is kind of your first encounter with somebody, or you've not known them for very long, then you really don't know what you're going to get. And if you're asking them for money, it's an even bigger decision. Yeah, it's a massive. Even if you're only asking them for a couple of quid, that's still, because subconsciously you know that if you buy something from somebody, you're more likely to buy from them again later, even if you don't actively think that. So it's not really a £2.50 transaction. It's not really a £2.50 transaction. It's the beginning of a much longer relationship with that person. So this is a really big decision to take, and you can't just throw the call to action out there and expect people to do as they're told.
We are now on step 5. Buy my shit.
Yeah, it's not quite that simple. If you've got a good enough relationship with people, you might get away with that kind of thing, but even then you'll be leaving loads of money on the table, because what you have to do is kind of go back to talking, reiterate the problem that they've got, the pain it's caused, build that empathy again. Just
tell them what you've told them.
Yeah, tell them what you've told them. Tell them what will happen if they do nothing as well. Point that out. Because, if they do nothing, the problems will continue. The pain will probably get worse, because, it's like when you've got a dodgy knee and you don't get it seen to, and it just gets worse and worse because you don't rest it. I don't know anyone who does that kind of thing. No, that's right. She says with a limp. Yeah, my knee's dodgy. And then show them things could get better as well. Offer them, the answer to their prayers, basically. Your product, your service, whatever it is that you're offering. But then even that's not enough, because you're kind of reiterating stuff they already know at the point where you want them to do something. You have to hold their hand through all of this. Right. Hold their hand through all this. Yeah. So what I mean by that is that this isn't the point where you can just push them out of the plane and into your checkout without a parachute. They need a parachute to kind of make themselves feel safe. That's a metaphor. What? It is a metaphor. It's a great metaphor. Pushing them out of the plane towards a checkout? Yeah. So, say that they're in a plane and they're quite happy. I'm miming a plane very badly. Yeah, that was poor plane miming. I think it was a motorbike. So they're on a plane and they're quite happy. They're going to their destination, but there's a quicker, and the answer to their problems might be at the end of this plane ride, but there's a quicker way. There's a quick way, and that's to jump out of the plane and take the answer, that you're providing them. Do something right now. Take your product or service. But if you just give them a call to action and then shove them out of the plane with no parachute, then that's, they're going to die horribly. That's probably a bit melodramatic, but, they don't want to do that because it's scary. They will resist. They will resist, yeah. They will totally resist. And what you want to do is say resistance is futile, and also it's really safe. Don't kill your clients. No, definitely don't kill your clients. Don't push your clients out of a window. No. So what you want to do is you want to hold their hand through the whole thing, give them a nice parachute, make them feel nice and safe. And the way that you can do that is to make the unknown known, basically. And there's a very simple way to do that. So despite the relationship you've been building, clicking the button or picking up the phone or whatever is still a leap of faith. It's a big decision, as I've just said. Might seem like a no-brainer to you, and probably, I've done this before as well, because I've been like, I've put all this effort into the sales page, blah, 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 blah. Here's the call to action. It's like, of course they're just going to click buy now. Of course they're not just going to click buy now. They're not. They need to know what happens next. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see on people's sales letters, people's landing pages, people's sales pages, And all the rest of it is telling people what to do and, click this button, and then there'll be some more stuff about how great the product is, or, what it's going to do for them and what's going to happen if they don't buy it. All the things that I've just said, but there's a massive glaring omission from that little call to action process. And the massive glaring omission is telling them, explaining in great detail exactly what will happen after they click the button.
Right.
And people don't do that. So it's like what I do on my thank you pages, on my confirmation pages, is I will show a screenshot of the actual email that people will receive, so they know exactly what they're going to get. So what you will want to do is say, let's assume that this is a landing page on a website, because that's the process I have written down in my notes.
Okay.
So you will tell them, blah 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 blah. Here are the benefits. Here's what will happen if you don't click, and expanded pane, all the rest of it. Here's the button, click here, buy now. Yeah. You also want to say, once you click this button, you will be taken to a thank you page with these instructions on it. And you will also receive an email. So check your inbox. You will also receive an email with this subject line, and then tell them what the subject line is of the email that they're about to receive. Okay. So that when they open their inbox, they see exactly what they're expecting to see. Tell them what's in the email as well. Tell them that in the email is contained their login details or their password or whatever they need to access whatever it is, or tell them that they will receive their whatever it is that they've bought within the next 3 days, if it's coming by post or whatever. Tell them exactly what they have to do, where to get the download, what to expect exactly, and also tell them what's going to happen after that as well. So in my published in 90 days book course, they will get all of that stuff, and I'll tell them exactly what's going to happen. And then I'll say, and, once a week, you will get a reminder email with a bit of a prod from me, to do the stuff that you need to do. There will also be a recap of what we've done and of what's coming up next week in the next module. So they know exactly what's going to happen throughout this course.
No surprises in the whole process.
There's no surprises in the whole process. Now, there are some occasions where you want to have a surprise, because, for example, when people join my inner circle, they do get a surprise, but that's deliberate because it's
a nice surprise.
It's a nice surprise. But you don't basically want to give people a nasty surprise, and you don't want to confuse people. This is all about saying, once you click this button, this is exactly what's going to happen. Exactly what's going to happen. So it just removes that uncertainty and that barrier to doing what you want them to do.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And do you say, and I'll add you to my mailing list?
Yes, absolutely. So, when people visit,
because people are going to click a thing and say, I'd like to download your hostage sheet. And you're going to say, okay, when you click this button, I'm going to ask you for your email address. You're going to press go. This thing will be delivered to you via email with this subject header, and I'll add you to my email list. Yeah,
and it'll be very clear that they will receive an email from me every day. And if they don't want to receive an email from me every day, they can either not actually hit the button, or they can just unsubscribe once they've got it. It's very simple. I occasionally still get some shit from people saying, why are you sending me all this crap? And it's like, because you told me to.
I said I would.
I said I would, and you asked me to do so. Tell people exactly what's going to happen. Don't try and trick people into receiving emails if you think they don't want them, because if they're not going to want them, then they're not your target customer anyway.
Yeah.
And they might come back. Even if people are listening to this and they go to my businessforsuperheroes.com/hostage, download the free PDF, and then unsubscribe from me, that's fine, because they might come back later.
Yeah.
They've got this thing from me then. They'll presumably still keep listening to the podcasts. And it's not like they're never going to come back again. People do things when they're ready to do them.
Yeah.
Which is usually not when you're ready for them to do them, because it's usually right now. But there are things that you can do to make it more likely that people will do what you want them to do right now. And this little process of holding their hand through the checkout and call to action is one of them.
Okay.
Stick the urgency in there as well. That's what I forgot to mention. Urgency. Make it urgent for some reason. But don't be bullshitty and fake about it.
So why should people download the hostage sheet? What's going to be the urgency there?
Well, you know what? There isn't an enormous amount of urgency there, because this is an evergreen podcast. It's never going to go away. And I want people to download this sheet.
You can never stop listening to this.
You can never stop listening. So that's probably not a very good example, but the Borrow My Brain offer, for example, when I first launched Borrow My Brain, I made
discount price at the start.
I made 5 spots available at quite a hefty discount, and I did that very deliberately because it was a very new thing. I didn't know how it was going to work, and I didn't want to charge the full price to people who, for something that might not work. But I also wasn't going to do it indefinitely. And 5 spots is a reasonable amount of my time to give to that because it was my time versus money. And that's perfectly reasonable. And, you can do that with consulting because it's, it's your time. You can only work with so many people at once and you get to decide how much that is. If you only want to give an hour a week to consulting, that's entirely down to you. So that's the number of spots that you have. Just don't be bullshitty about it because it's like you see people all the time offering webinars, for example, and they'll be like, places are strictly limited to 25. It's like, no, it's a webinar. You can put as many people as you want on a webinar, and it just screams fakey, fake, basically. So, and if you've got I would never say only 50 people can download my hostage cheat sheet because it's a PDF. Yeah. If I was printing them and sending them to people, then I could quite legitimately say I'm only going to print 50 of them and give them away for free because it costs me money to do so. So, that's the difference, basically. It's a subtle difference, but think about how you would feel if you encountered that kind of scarcity. If it makes you feel a little bit icky and makes you kind of wrinkle your nose, then don't do it yourself. It's a good rule of thumb. So there you go, really. That's my final stage 5 of hostage negotiation. Can you just run us through the 5 stages of hostage negotiation?
Oh my God, you keep doing this to me.
Well, you've done it so many times now, you should know.
Jeez. Right, active listening, paying attention, listening, understanding, making nodding noises and all that, asking questions.
Indeed. Yes. And that's really interesting, John. What's stage 2?
Okay, well done. Stage 2 is empathy.
Yes.
Where you demonstrate that you understand their problems.
So this must be quite uncomfortable for you, Joe, being put on the spot.
No, I'm all right with it now. I'm okay.
Are you?
Yes, I've had nearly 3 glasses of prosecco, and I'm all right.
But at the beginning, it must have been,
Well, yes, it was dreadful. It's dreadful. 5 long weeks ago, when we started this series, you kept asking me this very question.
It was more than 5 weeks ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway, what's stage 3, Joe?
So stage 3 is rapport, where rapport is kind of like a 2-way empathy. I'm understanding their problems. They're understanding that I understand them. We're talking about it. We both understand each other's.
It's like a big understandable love fest.
It's a big understanding cuddle.
Yeah.
And then after that, you've got influencing.
Absolutely. You do.
Where you can start to, model, nudge and sort of, influence.
Yeah.
Persuade.
Which brings us neatly to stage 5, which is behavioural change. Which by this point should be simpler.
Yeah. Because they believe you, they trust you, they know you understand them, you've built up a relationship.
Yeah.
Everything's cool.
Exactly. So that's the 5 stages of hostage negotiation and how you can use them in your business to influence your prospects, customers and clients to buy from you and buy more often and buy bigger.
Did that really need 6 weeks, 10 weeks? How long's it been?
Oh, it's been forever. It did. It's been a good series. I'm quite proud of this series.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it into other things too. Well, I already have it as a hostage cheat sheet.
Yeah.
So.
Which you need to download for free quickly before we turn it into a product and charge $100 for it. Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Because I am not a shiny suited internet marketing liar.
Fair enough.
Anyway, next week, it's the 50th episode of the Business of Superheroes show. Can you believe that?
Holy shitballs.
I know,
really.
we've been at this for nearly a year now.
That is ridiculous.
Can you imagine? You see, when we first started the Business for Superheroes show, and we can say this again next week because I'm not sure what we're going to talk about next week. We thought it would just be, I don't know, we just thought we'd give it a try and see if it worked.
I thought it was one of the 600 things a week that we try. And then discard 550 of them, and then discover that a couple of them are profitable.
Yeah.
And actually, it's quite good fun.
It's really good fun, isn't it?
It's pretty good fun. I quite like it. It's actually quite easy to do. And would you believe we don't rehearse this stuff?
I know. I don't think they'll believe that.
Not even a little bit rehearsed.
No.
So it's actually very easy to do.
And it is profitable.
Yeah. People subscribe, they join, they buy books, they join the inner circle,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I had 2 Inner Circle members join this week, actually. It's very exciting. 3.
3.
3 in the last week or so. It's really cool. So yeah, anyway. Oh, if you want to join the Inner Circle, businessforsuperheroes.com/inner circle.
Cool. Do that.
I think. If you want to borrow my brain, businessforsuperheroes.com/borrow my brain. I think Ben fixed that for me. And finally, remember to grab your free hostage cheat sheet at businessforsuperheroes.com/hostage. It's good.
It will be good.
Yeah, it will be good. So when you go to that page, you know what, the instructions will be there. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
When you go to that page, you'll be asked to enter your name and email address, and then I will send you the report, or you can download it online. So there you go. So next week, it's the 50th episode. There'll be fireworks and excitement and parties, and we are very much looking forward to doing that, aren't we?
Yeah. Yes.
That sounds like a good excuse for more Prosecco.
More fizzy wine.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Indeed.
Cool.
So yeah, thanks very much for listening, as always. Be good. If you can't be good, don't get caught. Joe, thank you very much, and happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya. Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.